Hi everybody, in this video we are looking at example number 42 on the pre-calc final exam review playlist. In this video we are being asked to find the domain algebraically, determine the domain of the function. So in this example we have two radicals, the sum of two radicals, and each of them will have a unique domain because each radicand must be greater than or equal to 0. From here we will compare both radicals when you have a sum of two functions, and we will give the domain of what they have in common. You'd almost think of it like perhaps a, either as a Venn diagram where you have that domain, you have that domain, and in conclusion we want this domain, or maybe you have one domain and then your other domain is sort of within there, and then your final conclusion is that right there. Okay, so it could be a complete subset, it could be just a partial overlap. Lots of different things can happen. So let's go ahead and get started. So in this one, what we're going to do is we'll start with that first radical. The radicand is x minus 1. It must be greater than or equal to 0. Add 1 to the other side. That means x, the unknown variable, which can vary, must be greater than or equal to 1. And next we have x plus 5. And we'll deal with that the same way. Again, these are both in the numerator, that's why greater than or equal to 0. If they were in a denominator, we would just say greater than 0. And if they were odd roots, like a cube root, fifth root, and so on, if they were in a numerator, they could be anything, because you can take the odd root of 0 or negative or positive. But if it's in a denominator, the odd root, the radicand still cannot equal 0. So x has to be greater than or equal to negative 5 right here. Now if I consider this on a number line, negative 5 would be to the left this time, and 1 would be to the right. And the negative 5 greater than or equal would be basically covering that territory. And greater than or equal to 1 would be covering that territory. So what they have in common is basically that territory. So what is our final answer? Our final answer is bracket 1 comma infinity. These last 6 examples have been sums, difference, products, quotients of different functions for the most part. In that case, you are comparing the domains as I just discussed at the beginning of this video. If you have a composition of functions, however, f of g of x, you need to consider two things: the domain of the inner function and the domain of the final function. Not f and g separately, but you need the domain of g and you need the domain of f of g. We don't really care about the domain of f, okay? That's a big area where people get things wrong, but hopefully you understand this example. Hopefully you even know what I'm talking about when it comes to composition of functions. So if you are good to go ahead, thumbs up. If not, leave a comment, question in the bottom. Check the playlist on the screen right now for more help on the pre-calc final exam review. And that's it for now. Adios.